To the March 5th meeting of the Lewis and Clark County uh, Commission. Would you please stand with me and pledge allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome. I'm going to introduce for the public our crew up here on this end of the room, starting with Roger Baltz, our Chief Administrative Officer, TJ Murphy and Nico Hash, our representatives from the County Attorney's Office, Commissioner Candace Payne. I'm Chair of the Commission, Tom Rolfe, this year, and next year I don't know what my name will be. Andy Henthausen, Commissioner, and Brandy Grandy is our recording secretary. Jenny Chambers is Director of Public Works and Planning. We'd ask anyone who comes in to sign up sheet on the other side of the bar, and there also an agenda that help keep track of what we're doing. Let's start right off with the consent action items. Mr. Baltz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This is item 2A on the agenda today, Resolution 2026-12, declaring county property surplus property. Staff recommends approval of that item. Thank you very much.
All right. Are there any questions for Mr. Baltz?
I have a question. Where's my list?
Is
there one attached? Okay. Apparently I didn't get one.
All right. You want to go over the list?
I'd just like to look at it.
You bet.
Mr. Chair, would you like me to go over the list? So it's a Generac generator. Both of these items are from Public Works. It's a Generac generator and a ASCO 700 series transfer switch, both from Public Works.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from the commission? Is there any public comment? Any public comment? There being none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve consent action item 2A as presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion from the commission? No discussion. We'll move on to a vote. All those in favor of approving Resolution 2026-12, declaring county property surplus property, as explained by Mr. Baltz, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on our agenda is fiscal year 2027 congressionally directed spending request application. Dan Karlin.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. For the record, I'm Dan Karlin, County Engineer. Before you today is a request to submit an application to Senator Sheehy for a federal fiscal year 27 congressionally directed spending request. The funding would support the design work necessary to produce construction documents for the Lake Helena Drive, Hauser Dam Road Project, as well as the acquisition of the right-of-way needed to complete construction once full project funding is secured. Public Works has already taken proactive steps by completing 30% preliminary design for Lake Helena Drive, referred to in the application as Phase 1. The proposed project would build on this progress by completing the final design for Phase 1, developing full preliminary and final designs for Hauser Dam Road, referred to in the application as Phase 2, and securing the right-of-way required for construction. If awarded, this grant would provide $1,554,500 for the Lake Helena Drive Hauser Dam Road project. We are not proposing to provide any additional match beyond the $197,200 already committed to the 30% design for Lake Helena Drive. Letters of support for this project have been provided by the Bureau of Reclamation, the Bureau of Land Management, Northwestern Energy, and Tri-Lakes Fire Service. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners authorize submittal of the FY27 congressionally directed spending request application to Senator Sheehy. And I can answer questions you may have. I also have a couple diagrams up on the screen for you.
If you want to give us a little bit of a rundown from the map that you got up there, I'd appreciate that.
Certainly, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. So it's a little hard to read at the scale it's at, but the bottom yellowish tag is the start of that. That's right at Deal Lane. I'm going to try to zoom in here. There we go. That's right at Deal Lane. That's where the asphalt ends on Lake Helena Drive. It'll proceed north all the way to the causeway and beyond. And then this point right here is Lincoln Road. That is the end of phase 1 per the project scopes, and the start of phase 2, which starts again at Lincoln Road and continues north and east until it reaches the entrance to Black Sandy where asphalt resumes. So the idea here is to, I have some plans here I can show you on this is the Lake Helena piece that we have presently at 30% design. That's taking the 24-foot wide gravel surface road out to a 32-foot wide asphalt paved road with a whole lot of drainage improvements as well as roadside safety improvements, curvature corrections, things of that nature, flattening vertical curves, things like that, as well as trying to remember the name of the road, Cedar Valley Road. That intersection has been an issue in the past, and this project will help resolve the issues that we have there too. And then moving north of there, again, that's the Lake Helena. We have not started design on that. We chose to break this into 2 phases so Public Works could get the ball rolling, if you will. We don't have the money to do construction yet, which is a piece of this. So if we can get the full design done, the intent is to then submit a second request for construction dollars through whatever avenue we can.
And if I might just follow that up, has the right-of-way been purchased on this section, or is that part of this?
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, it has not been purchased yet. That is a piece of this request. About $550,000 of this total request is just to finish the Lake Helena design and acquire right-of-way. The remainder is for the north half, phase 2.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission?
I have a question. I'm looking at, the Cedar Valley Road. You said that has been a problem approach, or so you're going to there. Can you, with this new design, will they be able to get from Cedar Road onto what is now the Lake Helena Drive? I mean, are we cutting people off there, or is there another way around?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Payne. So Cedar Valley Road, as you can see in this is just a rough overview. This is the overall site plan and stationing of the project, or the first phase of the project. So Cedar Valley Road comes in at a very acute angle, which is not...
I've driven on that thing, but I don't, there's houses down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So that acute angle is very difficult for a vehicle coming onto Lake Helena Drive from Cedar Valley to see northeast. So this project proposes, you can't see it real great there, but it curves and brings that into more of a right angle, more of a 90-degree angle. And also in that location, there's a pretty decent hill right there. So this project, I believe, raises the road or lowers the road slightly, which requires the Cedar Valley improvements to extend up the hill along Cedar Valley as well. So all in all, it's going to reconfigure that intersection and then extend Cedar Valley a little bit further to the east. Not the road itself, but the improvements to the east.
Okay, I misunderstood what you said in your earlier comment. I thought you were going to get rid of it. So that's a good thing. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chair, just for those that might be watching, just this process, assuming it all goes well and as anticipated, what might we anticipate for timelines if this all works out through the senator's office and whatnot.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Hunthausen, so the request sent out by Senator Sheehy's office specifies that money or funding, if awarded, will not be available until the start of federal fiscal year 27, which is October 1st, at the very soonest. It may be up to a year past that point or past the point of adoption of the budget. So as we've all seen, the continuing resolutions have a tendency to push those out a little bit in the recent past. So it could be up to 2 years or even a little longer before we actually see this funding come through. So,
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Thank you. That was kind of the point I wanted to make. So people see us working on this. It's a long process, and it may be multiple years before actual work on the ground. There's lots of preparation. And this phase, even if these were all successful, this is really the planning and design phase. We still would then have to go and try and combination of saving and grants and whatnot, try to find the money for construction. So it's going to be some time before that happens. I just want to be realistic for those that might be watching that this is a process, but we're working on it.
absolutely. And Mr. Chair, Commissioner Hunthausen, so another stipulation within the request was that the funds must be spent within 1 year of award or of receiving them. So we initially intended to go after all the construction dollars as well, but knowing the timelines and how these things work, we didn't feel that we'd be able to get that money spent within that year.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Yes, Commissioner Payne.
One of the things you will have to provide is you must submit 5 letters of community support to the office of Senator Sheehy. And I assume you've done this before, and if not, so how do you figure out the 5 people that you're going to ask? I mean, is my little brother Bruce going to be one of them? He doesn't live in this county.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Payne, thank you for the question. So the request, we actually asked for clarification on this one. Can we go above 5? What happens if we only submit 4? This is similar to the Monty Python thing. It must be exactly 5 letters of support. So we looked out for other benefiting agencies and or properties. So we reached out to the Bureau of Reclamation, which operates the White Sandy Campground. We reached out to Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, which operates the Black Sandy Campground, as well as the fishing access along the causeway there. Essentially, what we were doing is we were looking for other federal access properties that we could get support from other federal agencies to bolster the application. So we're looking for the heavier backing, if you will, to try to support the project, as well as the fire chiefs.
Those people down in Public Works are just so clever. Thank you. That's a good explanation and good thinking.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Let's see if there's any public comment. Is there any public comment on this matter? Any public comment on this matter? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the fiscal year 2027 congressionally directed spending request application as explained by Dan Karlin.
Second.
Any comments or questions by the commission? Any further comments or discussion? Just want to thank you for this. I think good to be on top of this and to get it. And looks like he's going to be our senior senator soon, and so it's very appropriate to have him doing this work. So thank you very much. Any other? If there's no further discussion, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of the fiscal year 2027 congressionally directed spending request application, as explained by Dan Karlin, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. We've got item 2B, task order B107 between Lewis and Clark County and Great West Engineering. Dan.
Good morning again, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. For the record again, Dan Karlin, County Engineer. Before you today is task order number B107 for Great West Engineering to complete a preliminary engineering report, or PER, for the Birdtail Road Bridge over Flat Creek and assist the county in submitting a Montana Coal Endowment Program, or MSEP, infrastructure grant application. The scope of work includes a bridge inventory update, on-site bridge inspections, a bridge capital improvement plan update, preparation of a PER, geotechnical investigation, environmental review, assistance to county staff in submitting an MSEP infrastructure grant application, assistance to staff in responding to questions and comments received by MSEP, and assistance in preparation for legislative hearings pertaining to the application. A task order is for time and materials not to exceed $38,000, and work shall be completed by May 31st of 2027. The project is included in the FY26 Public Works Bridge Infrastructure Budget. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve task order number B107 with Great West Engineering in the amount of $38,000 with an end date of May 31st, 2027, and authorize the chair to sign. I also have some diagrams here for you on this one. As you know, we've done some additional work on this project beyond this grant application and PER. This is just the overall location in reference to the world. It's this blue pin right here. And then I brought along as well some of our pre-work that we have done to date. This is that getting us to that shovel-ready point, Commissioner Payne. We have established a detour for the local use of overweight vehicles because the existing structure is restricted to passenger vehicles only. So as part of that, we surveyed the area. We've delineated wetlands. We've identified a detour location. And we've also gone through and figured out where the preferred alignment of the bridge is. So that's what you have before you on the screen. And if you have any further questions, I can answer those.
Any questions? Commissioner Payne.
Dan, will the eventual permanent bridge will it be in the location where it has historically been, or do you know that yet, or is it going to fall? Well, in the detour, it's on property that we've had to get a temporary easement. Will that become permanent? If you would get out your glass ball and maybe tell me, what do you think will happen in the future here?
Sure. Chair Rolfe, Commissioner Payne. So our initial effort on this was what we call a type size location to get a feel of what we would want to do if we wanted to pursue a permanent easement. As part of that, we did some hydraulic calculations and have determined, I don't want to front run the preliminary engineering report, but it's very likely that we would want to put this bridge back in the existing location due to primarily hydraulic constraints, as well as having to do permanent acquisition of additional right-of-way or different right-of-way land swaps, things of that nature. It works hydraulically, which is the primary concern, and then the added benefit of reducing some of the land acquisition efforts is also there too. So the preliminary engineering report will really go through and identify and pin down exactly what we're trying to do, what we need to do, and then we'll present that in the grant application.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Dan.
Any other questions from the commission? Is there any public comment on this? Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve task order B107 between Lewis Clark County and Great West Engineering as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on this item. Is there any further discussion from the commission? I'd just like to add a comment. You know, it's amazing how when people are prepared, they somehow get lucky. And I just think that the Public Works Department needs to be recognized for being prepared and having some contingency funds so that we could take care of this emergency. This bridge was maybe second or third or maybe fourth on the list of things to be done. And when the emergency arrived, we were able to at least get this temporary taken care of in a good fashion and to help those folks on the other side of the bridge that needed the ability to get over there. And the fact that our Public Works Department had done such a great job with budgeting and had a little contingency fund there that made it possible. Thank you all in the Public Works Department for being prepared so that we could get lucky. All right. Anything else? Any other comments? We'll move to a vote. All those in favor of task order B-107 between Lewis and Clark County and Great West Engineering is explained by Dan Karlin. Please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on our agenda is grant application to the State of Montana Historic Preservation Office. Pam Attardo.
Good morning, Chair Rolfe and Commissioners. My name is Pam Attardo, and I am the Historic Preservation Officer for Lewis and Clark County in the City of Helena. And I'm coming before you regarding a grant that the Heritage Tourism Council has received since it started, which is 1989. We are applying for a State Historic Preservation Office grant. In the past, we've received anywhere from $6,000 to $9,000, depending on if there was additional funding. This year, it is $6,000. And just to tell you a little bit about, so every year, SHPO awards up to $6,000 to each CLG or certified local government. This is a term that's in the National Historic Preservation Act. That has at least a half-time historic preservation officer, which we do. I am 3/4 time. So these 16 certified local governments in Montana, they each get this funding if they apply for it, and if they follow the rules of the grant. If they don't, that's why sometimes we've received money in the past, additional monies, because a CLG didn't follow the rule and the grant was clawed back. The HTC is going to, like I said, apply for $6,000, and the agreement requires us to file 2 grant reports per year as feedback on the grant. And the grant is unrestricted. It can be used towards salaries, operating costs, special projects. Doesn't matter. And this year, the grant period will be April 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2027. I usually come a little earlier, but the grant was delayed this year. And I recommend approval of the application for the grant of 2026-2027. Any questions?
Any questions from the commission?
No.
All right.
Pretty clear.
All right. Seeing no questions from the commissioner, is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? I see no public comment. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve this grant application to the State of Montana Historic Preservation Office as presented by Pam Attardo.
Second.
Is there any further discussion from the commission? Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving the grant application to the State of Montana Historic Preservation Office as explained by Pam Attardo, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners.
Yes. Thank you. All right. The next item we have on the agenda is a resolution calling for a local election. Roger, do you want to present that?
So, Mr. Chair, I don't see Mr. Fitzpatrick with us this morning. So this is an item from the elections office. I guess you have 2 options here, or 3. We could stop for a few minutes and try to locate Mr. Fitzpatrick. You could consider passing this, or Commissioners, the resolution, the whereas, the last sentence of the whereas is probably not the whereas, but the last paragraph. It calls for it to be a polling place election. And Mr. Fitzpatrick, when he was speaking to me about this, just said this is something that is required to be done. So it's your discretion.
Why don't we take 5 minutes and see if we can reach him? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back in the at about past.
Okay.
Here we've got resolution 2026-13 calling for a local election for Lewis and Clark County. Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, Connor Fitzpatrick, Lewis and Clark County Elections Division Supervisor. I apologize for being a little bit behind the 8 ball this morning. Lots of planning going on, and Ms. Attardo is a little bit faster than I thought she would be, so kudos to her. So I bring before you today a resolution calling for a local election for Lewis and Clark County. Like many of the resolutions that I bring before you, it's a bit of a formality more than anything. This is to say that, hey, we are aware that these items are up for election. In this case, they are most of the county races, and that we are going to hold an election for them in accordance with the federal primary that's happening on June 2nd and a general election in accordance with the federal general election happening on November 3rd. So usually when local governments pass a resolution like this, they're not the county. They're like the city of Helena, for example, the school districts, local special districts, and they're telling us, the Lewis and Clark County Elections Office, what they want on the ballot, whether that's a levy, a bond, or trustees/directors, et cetera, et cetera. I was looking at that statute the other day after talking with a few other counties. It just states local government. So as we're also local government, figured we should run this through just to be on the safe side, just to signal to folks, hey, FYI, we are on the ball here, and here's what's up for election. So this does say polling place elections specifically, so that means we are doing absentee ballots for both of these elections. Now, of course, it's up to the legislature to declare federal elections can be done by mail, like all mail, like 2020. So if that changes, we should know well in advance. So happy to answer any questions, but the races we've got listed on here: Lewis and Clark County Commissioner for District 2, Lewis and Clark County Clerk Recorder Treasurer, Lewis and Clark County Sheriff Coroner, Lewis and Clark County Attorney Public Administrator, Lewis and Clark County Superintendent of Schools, and one of our 2 county justices of the peace will be up at this election with a primary and general option.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Fitzpatrick? Any questions? Seeing none, is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? I see no public comment. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve Resolution 2026-13 calling for a local election for Lewis and Clark County.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion, further discussion by the commission? Any further discussion? Thank you for noting this and encouraging us to make sure we're following the letter of the law. Appreciate it. And I think it's important to make sure that we don't leave any stones unturned. All right. Seeing no further discussion, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving Resolution 2026-13 calling for a local election for Lewis and Clark County, as explained by Connor Fitzpatrick, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. All right, we have arrived at that point in our deliberations where we always leave an opportunity for the public to speak about matters that are not on today's agenda, but under the purview of the county commission. So, is there any public comment, Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, Connor Fitzpatrick, Lewis and Clark County Elections. Have had a few folks come and talk to me about the myriad of things that are going on at the federal level with everything, questions about elections, et cetera, et cetera. So wanted to provide a bit of discussion on that for you guys, but also for the community as a whole. There are two major federal bills that are related to elections that are, well, they're doing their thing at the federal level. I'm keeping an eye on them. Our staff is keeping an eye on them. SOS is also keeping us appraised on what's going on. So we will react accordingly as to what goes on with those, whether they're passed, whether they change, whether they fail, X, Y, Z. And then also, we are planning for potential eventualities across the board, whether they happen or not, in discussions with the DES coordinator for a myriad of things, whether they're natural disasters, folks doing things that are not a great idea, such as major protests that are violent rather than peaceful, et cetera, et cetera. So we are aware of everything that's going on. If anyone has a crystal ball, please let me know. I'd love to see it. But otherwise, we are planning for as many eventualities as we possibly can with everything going on.
All right. And again, our primary election is June 2nd, and our general election is November 3rd.
Mr. Chair, that is absolutely correct. And I encourage anyone who feels that they may need to update their voter registration to check in with us or check the voter portal online. Or if you know for sure you need to get your stuff updated, get it in with our office ASAP. That way you're all set and ready to go. And if you're not sure, feel free to contact us or check the voter portal online. We're happy to help out.
All right. That's good. And you're all probably always looking for folks to help out with actually conducting the elections too.
Mr. Chair, that is correct. We actually have our elections judge training dates posted on the website. Let's see if I can remember them off the top of my head. I believe it's April 6th, 7th, 13th, and 14th. It's going to be at the Civic Center this year rather than here in the City County building. We're looking to do a more hands-on approach to training. We did a test run with it in 24. Went so well. I'm so happy for it. So we're looking to do the same thing here. And if you're interested, you can email our office, give us a call. I'll put you on the list to send out when we have a sign-up link ready to rock so that you can pick your day, let us know you're going to be there. That way we can prepare accordingly with number of materials, number of chairs, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, are people, if I understand it right, people who are trained and are called by the elections office actually get paid for that day too, isn't that right?
Mr. Chair, absolutely. So I believe right now, if I remember correctly, our elections judges are paid $11 an hour. So if you serve, you get paid. It's not a strict volunteer position, though if you are looking to volunteer your time, I hear the political parties could also use some help and or maybe even candidates. But if you're looking to maybe have a little bit of extra, an extra lunch money, so to speak, then, you want to serve your community, elections judge is certainly an option.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Any other public comment? Seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.